our spring 2011 Convoy of Hope intern team. They worked hard, they loved well, went to a lot of places. They were in Dallas, Texas, they were in Atlanta area, they spent 7 weeks in the Philippines as well. Right now we just want to share with you a bit of their story.
We had the opportunity to go to Dallas and work with an outreach that involved the Super Bowl with human trafficking. Human trafficking is the second leading crime in the world, and a lot of times when we think of human trafficking we just think that it exists overseas, but it very much so exists here, and it's estimated that thousands of people get trafficked in during major sporting events. And while in Dallas we got to raise awareness to what goes on.
Well, we went to the outreach in Roswell, Georgia, where they said that about 10% of the people live at or below the poverty level. And it was an amazing turnout. There were so many people that showed up, that, including volunteers, that we had nearly one volunteer for every 3 honored guests.
The Family Circus Ministry in Davao, Philippines was our classroom setting for learning how to make the raised concrete farms, composting, and tilapia ponds. And we hosted a team from Fresno, and they came in, and together we worked together and learned how to do these things, these sustainability projects. And then over the next 2 weeks, our team went to Bataan. We used that training to create 6 4x10 raised concrete gardens, provided compost bins to get them started on their gardening projects to raise vegetables for food and to sell. And there's such potential at the Garden compound, and we're really excited to see what will happen there in the future.
In the Philippines, we're part of 2 international outreaches, one in the city of Tarlac, the other in Metro Manila. We worked under the leadership of Brother Boston and Pastor Raul. On these outreaches, there are over 1,300 people that came through over the 2 days, where we handed out 800 bags of groceries.
While in the Philippines, we were able to go to a really poor squatter village called Paseco. And the conditions there are pretty horrible, but the people there are absolutely wonderful. They are so full of life and joy, and it was amazing to get to see them. While we were there, we had the privilege of seeing a story play out where this little boy named Jason was rescued from an abusive situation. It wasn't just that his family was poor or anything. It was a pretty bad situation, and we were able to see him get taken out of that and brought into a loving and caring orphanage that's run by a Christian family that the missionaries knew. The church that we were working with in Paseco, for a few weeks prior to our visit there, they had been delivering groceries that Convoy of Hope had provided to Jason's family. And through that time of giving them the groceries and the food that they needed, they were able to see the abuse that was going on and see the situation he was living in. And so from that, they realized they needed to get help for this little boy, and it's because they were there delivering groceries from Convoy of Hope that they were able to see, his life and able to get him the help that he needed.
One of my favorite parts of the trip, and probably the most humbling part of the trip for me, was I was asked to speak at a graduation. This was a special graduation. It was 8 students in a squatter village finishing their first year of elementary school. We saw pictures and a video of how malnourished that they were. The leaders that started the school weren't sure where they were going to get food. And just through a partnership with, through a connection with one of our interns, and with us being over there and with Pastor Raul there in the Philippines in our warehouse there, they've been able to get food from Convoy of Hope. And then at the end, they did a ceremony, and they asked myself and the interns to stand, and they stood and applauded for us, and then all the kids brought us roses and just basically gave us credit for everything that has happened there with the food and with the education and with all the success. And as I was standing there in that squatter village and looking down at the dirt floor of the place where they hold school every day, and looking at those sweet little children handing me rose after rose, I realized that, man, we'll say yes and thank you and we'll accept these roses, but they really belong to hundreds of other people, the donors that make it possible to have the food, the people who work in the offices here at Convoy, all the people that sponsored us to be able to go, and the sweet local people there, Pastor Raul, and the people who started this school and go and daily pass out this food. So it was just very, very humbling, and so we accepted the roses on the behalf of everyone who makes it possible for those 8 little graduates to go on and get a better future.